thing for my shaper to fit a 1/2 inch like router bit. So, oh, almost forgot. Made a special. I need to adjust the camera, Chris.
What you need?
I think the camera needs to come, maybe move the whole thing forward just a little.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay.
I'll slide out that way.
And I'll slide out this way. Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
How's the
Okay.
connection? Can you tell? If you got the
I
bandwidth?
don't know, but I think we're good. I didn't do a Brad Hutchings always wants me to do a speed test, and I didn't. Not because I don't like Brad, but because I spaced it out until right now. So yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Going?
Yeah, in fact we are. Hold on, let's see, someone's sending me something. They're probably telling me something is wrong. Nope, I think we're good. I think we're okay. All right. Hey everybody, this is Matt, and we're at Maximum Guitars, huh, Chris? So Chris and I drove to Steve's workshop today, Maximum Guitar Works, Elizabeth, Colorado. And how long did it take you to get here, Chris? It took a little
about
while.
50 minutes.
Yeah, me too. About 54, 58 minutes. I drove past it, and then I had to turn around, and there were some guys that chased me out of there. Hey, go to my property! No, they didn't. Everyone around here is really
could
nice.
happen.
Well, yeah, if you goof around, it might, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I was wearing this hat, so fortunately, everybody took me seriously.
Yeah,
what he does.
Sounds right.
You know, just because I haven't gotten you a hat like this doesn't mean you have to.
I'll
get you one.
Don't feel you need to.
I'll get you one.
Don't feel you need to.
All right. Well, I like this hat.
Oh, good.
I think
I like that hat.
I think looks good on you,
Looks
though.
good on you, though. Yeah.
So today we are at Maximum Guitar Works. In fact, we spent the better part of the day here, all of the afternoon, hanging out with Steve and checking out what he's got going on. We did a little video, and I'm gonna edit that down and probably try to get that out very, very soon. Someone keeps calling me, and I don't know if it's okay. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Just gonna ignore it. From
Yeah,
here
because we're going. So unless someone's having an issue with like hearing, and I don't see anybody saying I think we're okay.
Good.
So anyhow, so okay, now I can't ignore it because someone's actually calling me. I just need to take my phone. I'm putting my phone over here so I can't see it. And now it'll probably go bzz, bzz, because vibrate is a ringtone if you put it on the table right. Bzz, bzz. Okay. So Chris, what do you think
about Steve's place?
Besides this beer that he has that tastes weird, what do you think about this?
Not too much of a buzz. It's all right.
With this beer?
He's got no Steve's place. He's got some cool stuff, I guess.
He does have some
if you're,
cool
if you're
stuff,
into, cool stuff.
This is good.
He's got every cool tool known to man, I think. So
I think
I knew the couple of things that we were going to use were going to be impressive, but I had no idea they were going to be that impressive.
I didn't either until I saw him come off the rig
fast. Yeah, everything, the precision. I knew the precision was going to be there, but boy, they all just zoomed right through it.
I'll have you know, we started with excellence. Steve actually that was a requirement. He's like, okay, Matt, you can come to my shop, but you got to start with excellence this time.
Yeah.
And so we did. And so we resawed some maple tops that we got from Dan and Calvin at Tonewood Experts. And we used his horizontal resawing bandsaw. And I cannot wait to get the video out and show you guys the neat stuff that we did here today.
Yeah.
In addition to that, Steve walked me around and showed me he's sitting on he's like a walnut millionaire. I don't know how. There is a bunch of really, really neat walnut. And Steve's going to talk. He's right over there. He's going to come on. We're going to talk about walnut. We're going to talk about templates. We're going to talk about building guitars. We're going to talk about this weird beer that we're drinking. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. We're also going to take your questions. So in addition to this being a Sunday happy hour that we're not drinking during, We will be, because if you got any questions for Steve, why don't we go ahead and open up the floor to questions? And so if you guys have a question for Steve or for Chris or for myself, like for example, hey Matt, where'd you get that cool hat? Put a bunch of question marks.
Chris have a cool hat?
And etc. Like yeah. When are you getting Chris a hat? Mm-hmm. Why aren't you getting him a hat now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So if you have a question for Steve or Chris or myself, please put a bunch of question marks and we will do our best to answer them. And of course, we always answer super chats. So without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get the man to come out, and it's his shop. So yeah, let's get Steve to come out and talk about some of the cool stuff that is going on in Steve's world.
Well,
Steve, is it McElney? McElney.
Okay, so every time I teach a class, I have to give a lesson on Irish names.
And I'm only doing this for the people watching in case.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you know this already. Yeah. But yeah, whenever you have an MC followed by a vowel,
okay,
or a vowel sound,
okay,
it's pronounced Mac.
Okay.
So McElhenney.
Okay, Mac. Oh, so what do you like? Hey, you.
I answered to that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
And many other.
So McElney or McElney?
It's like Mac-L Henny. Mac-L-Henny.
Okay, I'll forget before we're done.
Yeah, especially with that.
Yeah, especially with the super strong. So, Steve, thanks for having us over today. It was really fun.
Yeah,
I know it's Sunday, and you've got stuff that you do too, and Sundays are a work day for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. Even though some of us are trying to move away from working on Sundays, but not today. Not today. Today was a work day, and I'm happy to come out here and see all the neat stuff that you have. And thank you for helping us out.
Yeah, no, it was good. And
we met your son and your wife and some of your helpers. So some of the elves. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right, go ahead. Ready, go.
Was there a question?
No, you were talking while I was interrupting, and then I feel bad.
Oh, what was I saying, Chris?
I don't remember. I just listened for loud.
Well, we were talking about how you came over, right? And and we went through showing you some of the tools, and we worked on some stuff for you, and that is fun because to me, this is the way I look at it. Any day in the shop is generally a pretty good day.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, there's a I don't know, happy place. You know, it's like I'm in the shop. Maybe I got tunes playing, and I'm working on stuff, and I'm focused on things, and it's just all of the stressors of the outside world seem to go away.
A lot of people don't realize that like working in a shop takes a lot of focus. Mm-hmm. And so it can be very purifying to just kind of, because you have to tune that stuff out or you will cut a body part off.
Yeah. And I have a pretty strong guideline to try not to do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a rule. No cutting off of. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a great rule.
Yeah.
So, Steve, tell everybody a little bit about this walnut that you've got, because you've got stacks and stacks and pallets of this stuff everywhere, and it looks awesome. In fact, here is some of it. Right, get a load of that, you guys. So, tell everybody what this is, Steve.
Okay,
if you don't mind.
Yeah. So this is a book match top that we created of Claro walnut, and we've been, well, just today, I had, a couple guys over that were helping me with this stuff. And we generated about another, 60 or more book match tops that eventually will go on our website. We have, 30, 40, 50 on there right now. I've lost count on there, and they're all unique. Every single one is different. And we also have some English walnut, and eventually we're going to be releasing a lot of burl.
You've got a bunch of cool burl.
But that was not kiln dried. So we're air drying that, and that's going to take, it could take a couple of years before we're really ready to slice it up and have stability.
Yeah. Now, I am today years old when I learned what Claro walnut was. Do you know what Claro walnut is, Chris? No. Would you like to know what Claro walnut is?
Very much so.
Okay.
So we picked up like 5 pallets of walnut from California, and I did not know the story behind Claro walnut and walnut producing trees and things like that. And so one thing that we learned was that Claro walnut is has English walnut graft into it, because Claro produces deeper, stronger roots, and the English walnut grows taller faster.
Okay.
So they get a faster nut producing tree when they graft those 2 trees together.
And it's the
Okay.
damnedest thing. Steve actually showed me a place in the tree. He's got like a thing like this where you can see the
Graft line.
the joining of the 2 different trees.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cool, man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So do they plant them like on top of like I don't even know what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Grafting.
When he was
Yeah.
telling me that, I'm like, so they like splice the genes or something. Then he's like, and he showed me how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when-
Okay.
And I'm not an arborist. Would that be the right word?
Mm-hmm.
But
Not a guy that knows a lot about trees. So
Tree doctor.
but basically what they do is at a certain point is they will plant another tree with inside that tree, and they will grow and become one tree.
Okay.
That's the whole thing about there. And so they take advantage of the strengths of each of those 2 species of walnut to create a tree that is better for a specific purpose than either one of those by themselves.
And the purpose for this kind of wood is, of course,
The
turtle blizzards.
turtle blizzards.
Yes. Caramel and that's pecans. Never mind. Disagree. What candy goes in a walnut? What's a walnut candy?
Walnuttos.
Walnut. Okay.
Yeah, you got me there.
Okay.
That would be something for somebody to
Yeah.
chat in.
Okay, so a couple of things here. Joe says, Chris, is that hammer on the wall for Matt? I can't believe I read that one. He also said that you have a fez coming.
All right.
Yeah, somewhere someone says something about a fez. It might be Joe.
Okay.
So let's see. No, non-existent human writes, why don't the beers have a hat? I don't know. Rick B says Chris will have a fez next week.
Sweet.
Dan writes, Matt, when are you going to get a cool sign like Steve has? I don't know.
You can't see it because the lights are on, but when the lights go off, there's LEDs in there.
Yeah, I see them.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. They change colors.
they do.
Yeah. Yep. They're
Yeah.
Jeremy says that he just wants to thank you for recommending the Burns model machines, luthier thickness sander. Awesome machine. Also, yeah, I have used that. Very cool.
Yep.
Doc, let's take a super chat from Doc, who writes, Beer Fund and question for Steve. For custom template sets, is it better to send you an instrument to copy or work from drawings or pictures? This is probably a 2-part answer to a 1-part question.
Well, the thing is whatever's going to give me the most accuracy. Okay, so if you had CAD drawings that were exactly what you want and you sent me DXF files of those drawings, that is the fastest way and the easiest way to reproduce what you want.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Okay, so if someone doesn't have those drawings, like with your Challenger set, we just traced your existing template, right?
Because it's us. So it was sort of like on the back of a beer box and like, here you go, Steve, knock yourself out. And Steve's like, oh, geez.
And so that I basically had to import into, had to refine some of the lines to smooth out, things and make sure everything was at the right position and stuff like that. That's still not bad. If you sent me the actual guitar, it would probably be the trickiest, because now I have to trace that guitar,
reverse engineer,
and then I have to scan that into the CAD, and then I have to reproduce it again.
Not to mention the hardest to ship, and things can get damaged. And
Okay. So really, I mean, it's details. I need details. I need dimensions here, there. What's the heel going to be? What's the nut width going to be? What's the scale length going to be? What type of bridge do you want to use?
Yep.
How many tuners? Where do you, or the knobs, the potentiometers, where are they going to be? And all those type of details. And I've done some before. And I told a friend of ours who recently did a video on.
Oh, that's right. We can name names, can't we?
Can we?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Is there legal?
No,
things
no, he watches.
about
He knows.
international.
No,
international
no,
name?
no.
Oh, I think we could talk about him both.
No, I recently did a set for Brad, and because he was concerned that he didn't have the strongest CAD skills to provide me
Okay.
something that he wanted. So I said, man, you draw it on a napkin and send it to me. As long as I have the specs, you know,
Yeah.
I'll recreate it to whatever you need. It
No,
to be.
it looked great. So, guys, if you haven't watched Brad Anglov's latest video on the best guitar building templates you've ever used, go watch. We're not going to wait, but after we're done here,
Yeah,
go watch, and you can see some of Steve's templates that he custom made for Brad.
So hopefully that answered the question.
So now, okay, the question that I think that you might want to let everyone know though is because there was how long does it take? Is it faster to get to do this? So you're still in the how many, like one set of templates a month maximum, right?
Well,
that you can do.
I program myself 1 to 2.
Okay.
Because I don't. The bottom line is I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes when I create a template set from scratch, I need focus time.
Mhm.
I can't have distractions. I've got to be in the zone, and I've got to really be stacking things upon things and building it and making sure everything stays, you know, based upon center line and correct scale line specifications, and everything is dead on to the third decimal point, you know.
Okay.
I mean, to that degree. And I can't do that in just 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there.
Yeah.
I
And
need
guys,
focus time.
this is so we've put Steve's templates up against brand X templates. And Chris, it's night and day different.
Yeah.
Like if you get Steve's Strat template set. By the way, this is the top that I am buying. We're going to be building a Challenger with this top, like an all walnut Challenger, because get a load of that, you guys. Look at that. That's rad. So this is mine. You can't have this one, but you can get your own top, and you can also get your own set of Stratocaster templates. Chris and I put these up against, like I said, brand X templates. There's night and day difference.
Yeah, the other ones were wrong.
The other ones were wrong. Like even like the pick guard screws fit. If you go to a Fender, if you get a Fender pick guard and put it on Steve's, it's like 1-to-1 fit. It's exactly perfect.
Well, and the brand X actually stopped the pick guard from fitting correctly
because
one of the routes was wrong.
Yeah.
The control route was wrong.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, all these issues that we've had in the past with Strats not basically snapping together, because that's kind of what they're supposed to do,
Sure.
right? It all became crystal clear why.
In our December class,
an eighth of an inch off.
we had a couple guys build Strats, and they basically just fell together at the end.
Yeah,
they were
they did.
perfect every time.
Yep.
So I cannot stress this enough, you guys. If you want to use your templates to build guitars, these are the templates to get. Okay. So yeah.
If you want a template for an outline
that may or may not be right, then
well,
sure,
yeah,
fine.
But
Yeah.
outline is not critical.
Well, that's
Some
good to
of these are
hear,
good.
Matt, because when I placed those pick guard screws, I just kind of randomly put them
I
in.
took a stab.
Whatever
at it.
looked right to me.
That's not what happened. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone with my name asks, Matthew Flaherty asks. I wonder if that's the other Matt Flaherty
The other
from
Matt
Boulder.
here in town.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there's only 2 in the whole world.
Well, there could be lots.
There
Yeah.
is another Matt Flaherty.
Are Gibson necks quarter sawn, and do you need to quarter saw mahogany necks? Matthew, I would say that some Gibson necks are, and some might not be. You would be doing yourself if you can find vertically oriented to a fretboard. If you can find wood that has the grain perpendicular to the fretboard side, that's perfect. You can't, it's probably okay sometimes, but yeah, err on the side of vertical grain and you will not be disappointed. Now, there's a big difference, and there's a big difference between vertical grain and quarter sawn. So some vertical grain is quarter sawn, but not all vertical grain is quarter sawn. So if you go to a store and you ask for quarter sawn wood, you will pay a premium.
Yep.
If you find wood that just so happens to be vertically oriented the way you want, like say, for example, if you can get 12 quarter mahogany, then you're golden because you can orient it however you want. So yeah, go with vertical grain wood. Don't.
You guys laminate though, right?
Sometimes we do. On our Challenger necks, we prefer one-piece necks these days.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll take the 8/4 and
Yep.
I'll just cut it and then rotate it 90 degrees and
And then
glue
you
it back
get the
up.
equal opposite book match, and then
Yep.
that's a great way to do it too. And then you get vertically oriented, and as one piece wants to, like I does not, if it wants to warp, which you don't want, but as wood relaxes, if you have a piece that relaxes this way, and you glue it to a piece that wants to relax this way, they will even some of that out. So
yeah. So I like doing that because you get basically the effect of vertical grain with the price of flat sawn.
Michael wants to know, how do these cool tops sound when you tap them? You tell me. Sounds like an H.
So I think I calibrate them all in the reselling process to be a C sharp.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's the best.
So Dave the Plus sends us a super chat and wants to know, does Steve have Silver Sky templates? I want to make some counterfeits.
Did you just have a video about that?
It's on everyone's mind.
It is. Yeah.
So, Steve, I think you are poised to corner the market of the guitar building template market, because, as I said, these are the templates that you guys want to use if you want to build guitars. If you just kind of want to fart around, then the other stuff will work fine. But if you really, really, really are serious about what?
Just want to fart around.
Well, that's pretty tame for me.
It's
right?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just want to,
you want to pretend to make guitars.
if you want to goof around, then the
Yeah.
other templates are fine. But if you really want to make guitars, guys, these are the ones to use. I will go a step further. At our guitar building workshops, we exclusively use Steve's template sets. So, yeah.
Yeah, and to get back to the creating a custom set, I have had people just send me a random picture they pull off of Google or something like that and say, hey, can you make a template set for this? And I'm like, no, I can't. I got a picture. I have no specifications whatsoever. Yeah. And it's normally some oddball thing that somebody played, 30 years ago or something like that they're wanting to recreate.
Yeah. No, these are good.
I'm sorry I sent that to you.
It's okay.
So in addition to Steve's template set, so you've got Telecaster style, Stratocaster style. You built a custom set for Brad Angove.
Mm-hmm.
You built a custom set for a guy with a dynamite looking hat. Lots of different scale lengths. What else have you got? That's
well, we've actually just recently organized some of the templates on the website, because I had a question that was asked of me one time. Do you have this? And I was going to say, yeah. And I was going to send him the link. And I went through all of our templates on there and I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Because it's like we've been uploading into the website as I create new ones. And we realized we didn't have any rhyme or reason to it.
There's a giant pile of templates, and finding them is.
So now I broke them down by F style.
Okay.
And you'll find Telly and kind of the normal, front loaded, and another version that's kind of rear cavity for people that have the decorative tops and don't want to put a pick guard and cover up the pretty wood, right? And then obviously the Strat variations of that, and we've even got like a thin line version on there. We call the skinny T, and so there's
pickups in there. So you want P90s, you want humbuckers, you want single coil, you got it.
And I just had one of our skinny T's template sets that someone wanted, and they said, is it possible to get one with the P90? So what I did is I created one with a P90. So now he has it for single coil, Fender single coil style, Telly style. He's got humbucker and he's got P90. He's got 3 different variations, and you can mix and match these templates. So he, 3 times 3 multiplied by pi to the 7th.
And you can specify different bridges. So you get one that's got a trem, you got one that's got a P90 in the neck, you got one that's got there's all sorts of options.
And I do the bridges specifically because I was amazed when I started researching this that how one hardtail bridge doesn't have the same mount holes as another brand hardtail bridge.
Mhm.
and it's pretty frustrating. So I started creating different ones for all the different ones. If I can get the schematics of them, I can recreate that bridge.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's take a few more questions
let's do
here.
that. Questions are more fun.
Let's see. Matthew Flaherty writes, "What do you think?" And by the way, Matthew Flaherty did not get the memo about the question marks,
Okay.
which is okay because I recognize the name. So yeah. What do you think of the graphite rods and necks? Baloney or good or bad or Sure, why not? Do you use them, don't you, Steve?
I do.
Steel in base necks, but or carbon fiber is good, but yeah.
So I have a full video that I did, I don't know, a year and a half ago, where I actually compared carbon fiber, titanium, and I did kind of a spring test to see how much force it would take to bow at a certain amount.
Okay.
And some people find it interesting if they're kind of nerdy that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I have gravitated to protruded carbon fiber, which is basically a hollow tube.
Okay.
Because I found out through my tests there was, and I forget, it was like such a 2% or something differential in resistance to bowing between that and a solid one, and those are available like at kite manufacturing places and stuff like that. So they're a lot more cost effective too.
So resistance to bowing. How do they resist twisting?
That's a question that comes up, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to answer that?
I'm going to say that they don't resist twisting.
Yeah, that's not what the purpose is.
No. But I think a lot of people mistake what a truss rod does and what a stiffening rod will do. And you can only counteract the string tension. If the wood wants to go crazy, it's going to go crazy. Yeah. Ask me how I know. As a matter of fact, Chris, you and I have a video on that coming out also this week. Yep. The curse of Leo Fender.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. So let's take a few more questions here.
The saddest video of the year.
One of the saddest videos of the year, and it's only January. Joe wants to know, does your coupon code still work for the other templates? I'm not sure which coupon code you mean, Joe, but if you have a coupon code with Steve, it may still work.
Was talking
the
about
one from class?
I think he's talking about the other template code that we had at one point.
Oh, no. So, however, what Steve has done is if you sign up for one of our Wood, Sweat, and Beers workshops, Steve has been very kind to give us a template code, actually a tool and jig, or how does that work?
A discount code, but
for templates only, right?
No, I think
I can't remember what it was.
I'm pretty sure that was everything that I make.
Okay. So if you guys sign up for one of our guitar building workshops, you automatically get one of Steve's, and it's if you sign up now for a class in December, the code's good now until December. If you sign up now and your class is in February, it's good from now to February, or like a week after or something, right?
Yeah, a week after, because obviously they're going to be using some of my templates in your classes. So I figure that if there's any time that they're going to realize the quality and the value of good templates, it will be when they finish your class.
Yeah. Dale Boyle Music wants to know, have you noticed any general tendencies for different weight ash bodies to produce or accentuate different tones? No, I have not.
You know, I think there's probably some people in this world that could hear different tones, but I would say 99.9% of the people can't. I think there's a placebo effect that people get when primary attraction is visual first.
Absolutely.
And
would you rather be blind or deaf? David Lee Roth said.
I don't know what that means.
No.
But I think we're attracted to that, and sometimes the placebo effect will cause us to think that we hear something that sounds sweeter or better because it's so cool looking.
Sure.
But I do believe that when you use quality materials and have quality workmanship and quality parts, quality pickups, I think all of these things add together to produce something that is a quality instrument.
Absolutely. And sometimes having something neat is its own reward. Doing something correctly is its own reward, whether or not it produces the tone or whether or not you can hear a difference sonically is of less of a consequence to my mind. But you know what, guys, I spend so much time in a workshop that I have very poor hearing, And the places where my band plays, everyone's drunk, so nobody cares. But I think that there's a lot of pride and ownership in an instrument that is built for you, built correctly, built well. So yeah. So if you like, and frankly, a light guitar is way cooler than a heavy guitar.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm willing to admit that I think acoustically, electric guitars can sound different from guitar to guitar and wood to wood, or resonate differently. None of that gets transferred through to the pickups. It's impossible.
Yeah. You hear that, Chris?
But the
the feverish typing
yeah,
of the internet. Yeah.
But hardware makes a big difference in that. And once again, quality hardware, construction can make a big difference in that. All of those things can add up. But I don't think the actual wood itself is contributing to that electric sound at any point. The sound just can't back into the strings and get transferred through the pickup on an electric guitar.
I posted a video a couple of weeks ago talking about body woods, you know, and I had several of them spread out here, common, you know, Fenderish, you know, woods that were used, and talked about a lot of the different aspects. But I really harped on it all comes down to me is like more about ergonomics of the instrument. So I don't want to use, you know, like a Wenge really cool neck and a basswood body, you know, because it's going to, you know, it's going to get neck dive. So I'm more concerned about weight distribution. I'm more concerned about the aesthetics. You know, I mean, swamp ash is a cool wood because it's light and it's got cool grain that you can do things with. Anyway,
I have always said, beware the dangers of hippie wood. And I love hippie wood just as much as the next guy. But if you use wood that is predominantly used in guitar building, you can't go wrong. So use the swamp ash and you'll be happy. Baseball bat ash is really cool for baseball bats, but not so much for guitars. Okay. Yeah. Moving right along. Brad Guitar Miller wants to know, Steve may have said before, but what is your background in design? ?
Wow. Well, when I was in high school, I took an aptitude test, and they said I should be an engineer, but instead I became a pilot.
Okay.
So I've been a military pilot for 38 years now.
Wow.
38 years. Couple more years, I'll retire, and I'll be right at the 40-year mark.
Do you know that you've been a military pilot longer than Chris has been alive?
That's not true. I'm the oldest looking 38-year-old ever. 30 plus, I'm only 35.
Plus tomorrow you're going to be 36.
I am.
Tomorrow's Chris's birthday, everybody.
Yeah.
But seriously, I think some of the military training has given me an attention to detail that I might not have had otherwise. Yeah. You know, and I think that I was born with a certain amount of curiosity to figure out how things work, combined with some of the things that I come up with.
Okay. So you're mostly self-taught as a
I am.
Okay. So you are hands-on, you get in and do it and
figure it out.
Earn as you learn.
Or I get frustrated and I give up.
Okay. Jeffrey Egan wants to know, are the routes for Filtertrons the same as humbuckers? If you're using the rings, they can be. If you're not using the rings, no. Right, Chris? If you're using the TV Jones rings.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Lots of people here are wishing you a happy birthday, Chris.
Oh, good. Thank you, everybody. You know, when you get to be my age, birthday's just another day. That's what my dad always says.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I don't really believe that. But
you get to another age, every birthday is special because you don't know when the last one's going to be.
Yeah, this could be the last one, and this could be the last one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we hope not.
Yeah. It's cool. I think, you know. Yeah.
I think it's better than the alternative, amigo.
Well, it is. No, I don't mean the birthdays, just the well wishes of people.
Okay. So in between everyone well wishing Chris, Steve, you have a new tool that I would like for you to show everybody.
You want to show?
I'm gonna re-aim the camera.
I'm gonna stand over here and cough for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting some tingles because there's so much wood stuff happening. All right, see, I'm coming right back.
All right.
That was weird.
Thank you.
So what is this bad dude here?
Yeah, it's just.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, all right, we're
All
back.
right, we'll cut that out in post-production. So I just launched this a week ago now, and honestly, and I was telling you guys earlier, I've spent a lot of time gluing up tops, like 1/4-inch tops, 1/8-inch tops, things like that, and I've never been happy with the jigs or methods that were on the market. And I've been thinking about this way longer, because it turns out the KISS principle ended up being it. I designed something pretty simple that actually works better. So this is one that I did my video, and this is one of those incredible Claro walnut tops there. But
so how would we glue this one up that's my top here?
So the idea here is, where's our book match? There we go. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. All right. So the idea here with this jig is it's made out of melamine. Glue doesn't stick to it, so we don't have to put tape down, so we can peel the tape off later, and all these things that just are just waste of time, in my opinion. I just want to get right to gluing this up so I can get back to making guitars, right?
Get down to business, yeah.
And so I've got two sets of cams on both sides of this thing. And so one side, I basically just tighten up so that the cams are touching. And so you can see this came right off of production today. This is right off the jointer, right off the resaw and the wide belt sander, right?
So is it ready to glue up, or we need to do a little more stuff?
If I was keeping this in inventory for a while and somebody's buying it a month, 2 months down the road, 6 months down the road, I would recommend using like a shooting board technique, but not with a plane with highly figured wood, but just with a flat sanding beam.
Okay.
And just kiss it just to make sure that it's tight. But this is still like super tight where it's going to disappear. So anyway, so with this, I then take the cam on the other side and I just tighten that up, and I've already got my glue in here, let's say. And now I come by and I add like a little, I mean, seriously, that much twist, and it's adding pressure, and you're going to be seeing the glue squeeze out.
You can actually see the middle is popping up a little bit because it's squeezing the whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because it's just that much, it's putting that much
and there's
pressure.
hardly any here, guys. These concentric cams are just barely squeezing it together.
Yeah. And so then I designed a cross beam, with melamine on that side too, to drop in place. So while it's gluing, that we hold that seam flat. And it doesn't have to be tight. It just has to, just be keeping the top flat. And
keep it from flopping around.
Yeah. So just a little bit of tension on it, just like that. And seriously, was that a minute?
If that, yeah.
And I was talking that whole time, but that is the entire glue up process, and how simple it is with this guy. And on the full production model, when I go, because this is my first prototype, I'm probably have a couple holes here. You take this off your workbench, you hang it on the wall, you get out of the way.
Cool.
You get on to the next project.
Yeah. And the other neat thing about this is it doesn't weigh a bunch of clamps worth of weight. It's the wood and this jig, and so it's hardly anything. It folds up, stores out of the way. Yeah, good to go.
So simple. It's like one of these simplest things. It's like, man, this is becoming one of my favorite jigs because the simplicity of it and how effective it is for doing very quick.
I want to get one for me, and I think I want to get a couple for the classes too. I think the workshops, because the gluing up tops this makes it easy, and I want to say easy and fun. That reminds me of like the Kool-Aid commercial, but yeah, it's easy, and it actually is probably fun to do, and it's perfect every time. So yeah. This is a great addition to the rig, and yeah, it's ready to go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's a new thing. Which I'm really liking, and I know I'm personally going to use it a lot.
Absolutely.
And I won't sell anything that I don't think is good enough for me to use.
It's funny, like in the grand scheme of things, people think stuff like, well, you get a CNC machine and guitar making is easy. Well, some parts of it are, but you still have to glue stuff. You still have to make stuff flat. You still have to get frets leveled. You still, so a tool like this that's very simple is another tool that you ought to have if you're interested in building instruments, especially with tops. So yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Chris?
I like it.
How many
Cool.
should we? Or should we just pre-order like a half a dozen of them? Or
Half a dozen?
I don't.
Seems excessive.
Well, we have half a dozen people in those workshops.
Yeah, but I think if we had 3 total, that would be
Okay.
yeah.
You
'Cause
got
we
get us.
divide the classes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. We divide and conquer.
Mhm.
Yes.
So there
Okay.
you go.
Yep.
All right.
And I want them to say Chris's only.
Do not
Yeah,
mess
do not
around.
mess with. No.
Uriel Sage
Watch what you
says
suggest, because that might happen.
you never. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought as I was saying it. Yeah.
Uriel says that he got a cricket cutter, a badass.
Mhm.
Very cool. Joe says, Steve, will you double side that for production? Double side that.
This?
Will you wait a minute. Hold on, let me make sure I'm reading that. Will you double side that for production? Wouldn't that be something?
You can do one on each side. I think the problem, if you flipped it over and tried to use this side, is it's just not as stable.
You know, I don't want to do like design by committee on a live YouTube video, but one thing that could happen
Mhm.
is why do you need to have them both adjustable if one side just I know why, because not every top is perfectly square.
Yeah.
Not every top is that wide.
Yeah.
So
Well, but then you could yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
so you need to leave the center in the center.
That's
So
true.
I mentioned to you earlier, but I didn't mention it on the video, but they're all independent because sometimes we get those live edges
Yep.
and it kind of fades away. And so
Yeah.
my original thought was one side was going to have a flat beam or maybe both a flat beam that kind of put
Uh-huh.
clamping pressure in. And then I realized that independent points of adjustability give greater flexibility.
Yep. Yeah. So that would be one. And so I was thinking, well, if one side had a block on it, then it wouldn't be too. Yeah. I don't think it would be any more. I'm sorry. I don't think you'd be saving any money by having a jig that had 2 sides. I think you'd be adding to the
Well,
complexity.
it's not like you got to leave it in there for a week.
Yeah.
No,
I think it would get in the way, honestly.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And I think you have more versatility if you keep them separate. Because, like you said, you get done, you hang it on the wall, stand it in the corner, and you go to the next one.
Yeah.
But these have sliding T-nuts on the bottom that can come all the way into here. And what I figured that if I had a head plate that I wanted to
Sure.
seam for a 3x3 headstock
Uh-huh.
to match up with the body, I'd take this and I would probably take a couple, little spacer pieces of wood to help diffuse, the pressure
Sure. Yeah.
of the clamping pressure. And I put the head plate in between here. I would have enough space to even clamp like little head plates down.
Yeah,
So that's why I
that's a
kind of
great
gave it that much
Uh-huh.
adjustment range. It's like 16.5 inches at this point. And for the clamping bar, it's like 25.5 inches under there.
Okay.
It should be more than enough for any top that I've seen or I've used.
Yeah, I think so. And so it's funny because as I was watching you do it, I'm like, well, how come? And then I said it, and as soon as I said it, I realized, the reason is because not all the tops are going to be the edges are
Square.
going to be parallel. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's why they have to be like
Yep.
that. Yeah. Let's see. Daryl writes, hi all, Steve. This is Daryl Hazelwood, Chris.
Mhm.
Hi Steve, are you using your neck shaping jig or have you moved to another means for shaping necks?
I still have my neck shaping jig. It's actually under our feet right now, guys. But years ago, and I still use it on occasion because it works.
Mhm.
And I've been asked numerous times for plans of it or if I would build them. And the answer is always no, because when I build it, I went off of a rough sketch and I don't have any drawings of it.
Yeah.
And to reverse engineer and create plans of it is not what I want to spend my time doing.
Frankly, that machine, if you were to sell that, it would be very cost prohibitive.
It would have to be expensive because all of the different pieces and parts that come together, and it would be very limiting because I build it for my router setup.
Yeah.
So you'd have to make it accommodating for every type of
Every
router on the
single
market.
thing, yeah.
And it's just, I've done several videos about it and I've showed as much close up as I can.
Yep.
And there have been people that have tried to recreate it, some successfully. Most of them don't use the acrylic shield around it, which I thought was the best part of it is I could do
see,
that.
Yeah.
And there's no dust that gets out.
Yeah.
You know, it's all contained inside,
Mhm.
and which is a very messy I've seen some videos of other jigs like it, and they seem to be effective, but it's like they somehow chop the video up because you don't see the dust flying all over the place, and I guarantee it's happening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I still do use it, but I also have full CNC capability, and for, you know, guitars I'm producing outside of like the classroom, because when I teach, I'm teaching them how to carve it by hand.
Yeah.
And if I want to teach a way that's maybe more repeatable than hand carving, I can use the jig. But honestly, once you've done a few necks by hand, you can do it by hand to the point where you get exactly what you want every time.
Yep.
This one was carved by hand.
Is this one that you did in your school?
This one I did in our video series.
Oh, okay.
So I did an actual video where I showed how to carve this by hand, and my jig did not touch this neck whatsoever.
Just all handwork. It looks great.
This is all hand.
Mhm.
You know, so I would honestly say invest the time to learn how to do it by hand, and it's just not that hard unless you're doing production.
Mhm.
And then moving into a jig or a CNC world is more efficient if you're worried about time and money.
Yep. Doc says he picked up a 6-inch joiner today. I think Doc sent me an email about that. I didn't get back to you, Doc. I'm sorry. I'm glad you got that. So that really has me thinking about how cool it would be to make my own tops. Absolutely. Yeah, Doc, if you've got a joiner, this will help you out a lot. Dave Bus writes, could you do 2 tops simultaneously with this jig?
If they were exactly the same size,
If they were exactly the same size, and even then,
yeah,
I wouldn't do it. Yeah,
because like you
could
said,
you? Maybe. Should you? No.
I just don't think it's worth the complications it may produce.
If you are in such a high speed of production, it would be better to have two of these than worry about,
because the likelihood of the width being identical and the clamping pressure being perfect for both of them is slim to none.
Yeah.
And then
and what's the payoff? You save an hour,
and then glue's squeezing out. So are they going to end up glued together, or are you going to put wax paper in between? And then that whole leaves it basically counteracts the purpose that I made it as out of melamine, so I wouldn't have to use rolls and rolls of wax paper.
Yeah. So I would say, could you? Maybe, but I wouldn't. In the grand scheme of things, saving 1 hour on 2 guitars is not that much time in the big scheme.
No, you put it in, you let it dry, you work on other things, and then you come back to it and you swap it and do the second one.
Robert Tucker asks, what about Explorer-sized bodies or large arch tops? I like both those guitars.
They're already on our website. The first, it's
okay.
I think you use the same name, but
the Adventurer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's
you and I have similar design ways of thinking. So like we have the Adventurer, and I noticed that you and I even have a similar teardrop cover on our guitars.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
Maybe I stole that from you.
No, I think your great minds think alike.
Right? Well, it fit very well for my design, doing that teardrop to get a little bit more room for the screws to go and not get in the way of the belly cut.
Yeah, and I hate, which way does the plate go on with the teardrop? Oh yeah, just plop. Mm-hmm. You know exactly how it goes.
Yeah, you don't have to line up the odd screw placement.
Yeah, so I think it's cool. Okay. Tony Lopes, let's take a super chat from Tony, who just sends $5. Hi, Tony. How you doing, man? Jeffrey Wilson, would it work on bodies? So Jeffrey, Steve and I talked about this today. I think that it could, especially if these cams were a little taller.
Mm-hmm.
But what was there was a, I think it could with a butt, right?
Well, here's the thing. The way I thought about it is I worried about whether these cams would produce enough clamping pressure for a larger, 1 3/4 inch body. Yeah. And I didn't design it for that. And therefore that wasn't the purpose of it. Although some people could probably make it work and may really tight seam that would be more than enough clamping pressure for the glue to do its job. But that's not what I designed it for. And so if people get it and and they will, because I've already had like a dozen of these ordered under
Uh-huh.
under my pre-order. But they will get them, and then if they use them for that, and they tell me, "Hey, man, these work perfect for that," then maybe I'll start talking about it. But it wasn't
Okay.
really in my design.
So we don't know if they'll work for bodies,
Mhm.
but yeah, if you want to try it,
Yeah, I'd say anything less than 3/4 of an inch is, even carved tops, it'll be more than enough
Yeah.
clamping pressure. Although if you do that, because I built this,
that's right.
I built this as thick as I did, and I made it with screws that are designed really for quarter plus or minus some.
Yeah.
And so if you wanted to do a 3/4 inch top and hold center pressure, you probably have to find yourself some longer screws.
Yeah, or clamp something. Yeah. There's ways to do everything.
Yeah, just put a clamp on either side. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that'd be an easy way.
But yeah, that wouldn't be starting with excellence though.
No, but I could see myself doing that in a pinch.
Sure. Yeah. Got to do what you got to do. Okay. Tony wants to know, are these available right now, Stephen? If so, what is the cost?
Well, they're available for sale. I did a video recently about it, and I basically said in the video, I'm not sure what kind of demand I'm going to have for these things. So I've got it listed right now at $150, and I had a pre-order discount price on it, which I'm not sure how long I'm going to carry that discount. But it is available for sale. But I put it as a pre-order, and with like a 2 to 3 week shipment time. And the reason why is I'm still doing some enhancements in my head of how to do little fine tuning improvements to this guy. And honestly, one of the other big things is I'm already thinking about what size box do I need to ship this safely across the country or across the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to source what would be the right size box with the right type of packaging, because anyone who's received my templates knows that I'm a little bit overkill in packaging, because in the end, the extra time and the extra cardboard that I use to put every single template in its own negative template will save me having to replace orders because of that things getting damaged in shipping.
Yeah. So I think it's people want to have all the neat stuff that you use, as evidenced by, hey, Steve, can we get one of your neck shaping router deal jigs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just because Steve has one doesn't necessarily mean he wants to make them all the time. But so this may or may not be something that who knows?
I honestly think that this is going to be a long-term item.
I know I want one or three.
It's gotten really good interest.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is, I get it out to people. And what feedback do I get? I think it's going to be positive because, again, I'm a guitar builder and I like it. Yeah. So
I think it's really cool and super efficient, which is super good. Okay. So we're right in that 130 kind of neighborhood. Huh? Okay. Michael says 129 intro going to 149 or 159 soon, maybe even tomorrow. Do you know when? Michael is your
he does all my web stuff for me, and obviously he's instrumental in a lot of other stuff. Sure. That goes on, but I'm
glad he's here, because that sometimes answering those questions is easy to do in the comment section.
Sure, and we haven't come to a decision. I originally thought that I would keep it on the pre-order for like a week, which ends Monday.
Okay.
So I don't know. Whenever I feel like the interest has been like, okay, this is a solid deal, I'll probably remove the introductory sale price.
All right. Maybe even tomorrow.
It was just used to motivate initial interest, just so I could gauge the interest.
All right, cool. So I know what everyone's thinking. We've got a few more minutes left. They want to know, Steve, what mad scientist stuff are you working on in your head right now? It's not available yet, but what's the next cool thing that you're gonna probably come out with sooner rather than later?
Well,
I'm wondering about that.
Which one?
That
bit thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still.
Is that too early to talk about?
No, it's not too early.
Okay.
I think I've mentioned before that I'm working on it, but I recently completed a template.
Can we see it? Okay.
Grab that.
I didn't even hear about it.
This is going to blow everybody away.
Unless Chris breaks it on the way over.
It's not fully assembled. Okay, so I recently completed an SG set, and when I was doing the SG set, I was noticing in all of the blueprints that angle, that kind of the bevel that goes around the front and the back. And so what I did was, on my previous templates, like whenever I have a template that shows like a belly cut, it's designed for you to trace and then to carve out, by hand or, whatever carving tools you want to use for that. And I said, man, it'd be nice if we could do that with a machine. So,
and everyone else is thinking that right now too.
So the depth,
unless they work at Gibson, then they know how to.
The depth of those bevels at the widest point was only an inch. So I basically offset another template, and I restructured the alignment pin system to avoid any of those bevel areas. So it's a little bit different. I normally pick, dead center. I normally pick wherever the strap buttons would go in.
Sure, yeah,
that's my standard. But so I reposition it, and then I try to figure out, well, we could just take a chamfer bit on a round table, but no, you can't, because
you get close, but
it's not going to do it. So what I'm working on is actually a 2-inch wide bevel bit,
and that's this guy right here.
This guy there.
How many degrees is that? Do you reckon?
That is 30 degrees that it would remove.
Okay.
Okay, so they classify it as a 120-degree chamfer bit, which is basically this angle.
Okay.
So that means it's removing 30 degrees on each side.
Okay.
Which appears to be very, very close, if not identical to what the SG has. So now to match that up with a 2-inch bearing gives me a flush cutting capability to this.
Okay.
Now this is the problem. And maybe somebody out there can find something to help me out. Right now, I have not a 1/2-inch hole.
Oh, okay.
So the solution at this point is a spacer that slides into there, and maybe I don't know, maybe use some sort of epoxy or whatever to hold it in place.
Foxy.
And then that would slide on, and then your normal collar would come up there, and it would lock it into place, and then that goes into your router. And then as you make these passes, you're following a
different template that gets smaller and bigger as you go. Not following exactly the contour. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that is the thought process and what I'm working on. But I have to do testing. So testing takes time, and I would rather get one bearing that does the whole thing. But actually, Mike and we have scoured everywhere we can.
So you've contacted Whistler Bearing then? Okay.
Everyone, everywhere, and we can't find it.
Okay.
So
fortunately, that doesn't look like it's a super, like I think you could get away with it with an adhesive.
Yeah. I just wonder how well the adhesive will lock that spacer in. I may need like a washer on the bottom side just to kind of keep it all locked together. To take some of the stresses away.
Okay.
And then with the collar on the other side, I think could do it, but I'm still working that out. But for those who have purchased the SG template series, I think this addition to that series that already has that template in it.
If you've ever built an SG and tried to match perfectly the Gibson contour, you know that it can be a pain.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Soon, another thing that I think is closer and closer is actually my own concoction, Mad Scientist concoction of hard oil-based finishes.
Oh, well, see, I've known a little bit about these, and you've told me a little bit about them, but I've been sworn to secrecy. So
yeah, and I didn't know how close I was, but right now I'm in the process of having professional labels designed and made.
So you're in the final stages of cool. Do you have a cool name for it? Steve's Super Cool Excellence Oil.
Yeah, I do.
That's
I do have a name.
Is it not Steve's Super Cool Excellence Oil?
No, not even close.
Not really at all. Okay, all right. Thought I'd take a stab.
But I seriously think, maybe within the next 30 days, I could be making a visit to one of your shows, kind of showing this stuff off.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, I am excited. Steve, we had a great time here. I'm talking for Chris too. Chris, what did you think? What do you think? What did you think of everything that we saw today?
It was awesome. It was even cooler than I knew it was going to be.
I can't wait to show that video because like when you watch the stuff come off that saw, it's like, did it do anything? Is part of it back in the other thing? No, it's
That was part of it. As I was filming, I was like, well, that's sort of somewhat anticlimactic.
It didn't do anything.
It's not like it's throwing shit everywhere or anything. It was at one point you didn't have the vacuum going, and so there was a bunch of dust.
That's always the reminder that you gotta open up the blast gate.
But other than that, it comes out the other side, and you're like, because it even like holds it together on the other side pretty much, and you're like, Did it cut it?
It's a really, really cool tool. And I have tool envy like never before.
Yep.
So fortunately, Steve lives an hour from me. So if I get a bunch of stuff ready, maybe I can come back and pay him to cut it up for me. So yeah. We have time for one more question from Joshua, who wants to know, Chris, did you get your locker?
So yes, I did. I picked out my locker.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no lockers here.
But you did get your spot in the fridge, right?
I got my spot in the fridge and I got my parking space and I got all of that.
Yeah.
So
excellent.
My bathroom pass.
The funny thing is
tokens.
Tokens for your flip flops.
Yeah.
Early this week, I actually tried to order lockers.
Did you?
And it didn't get here in time.
Because there's a big locker shortage.
Who knows? And I thought it was going to be great to have that and has his name on one.
Yeah.
But
I thought
it didn't happen.
For some reason, on one of your video tours that you sent us on, I thought I saw lockers.
I thought I did too. Yeah.
Maybe it was just a joke.
It was always part of the plan. It's just not there yet.
Yeah. That's okay. I can wait.
Yeah. We'll come back.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions for Steve, please check him out at MaximumGuitars.com.
GuitarWorks.com.
MaximumGuitarWorks.com. Thank you. And you're very good about returning emails and much better than I am. So take us home, Steve. Let everyone know what's happening, and then we'll call it a night.
Well, I think we covered what's happening. I mean, there's obviously a million things going on, but I think the highlight today was you guys coming over here.
I had a great time.
Thanks for having us.
It's always fun hanging out with like-minded people.
Yeah.
And so getting a chance to work on stuff together and help you with those tops and things like that. And of course, spending an hour just kind of chit-chatting with all your great people out there, which mostly gravitate to my channel. I think all people that I have come from your channel.
Well, I hope that anyone who's watching right now who hasn't subscribed to Steve's YouTube channel looks up Maximum Guitars on YouTube and checks it out, because there's so much good stuff out there. So guys, thanks for watching. We will see you next time. This is Matt at Texas Toast, reminding you that if you're so smart, start your own YouTube channel. That's what Steve and Chris and myself did. We'll see you guys around the corner. Take care. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.